We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.
Attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again, but it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words that make...
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Wraith. It is the Fans Forum. This is a pre-recorded show tonight, so don't be offended if we don't put your messages up on the screen because we won't be able to see them. Good evening to George, to Darren, to Barry, to Spenny and to Sam. And let's start, George, with another masterful performance by Eddie Howe's boys at the weekend. Newcastle United 4, Crystal Palace 0. That's what you need to do to teams like Crystal Palace if you're going to continue to be a force in the Premier League and stay in the Champions League places, George, isn't it?
Absolutely right. And a team against a team that hadn't lost many goals in the last 4 matches. And we demonstrated that we're able to do that to them. Very professional performance, some outstanding performances for me. And indeed, a minor criticism. Callum Wilson should have had a hat-trick before half-time. And, I thought he had so many chances, it was unbelievable. Andy Gordon hit the bar. So you could see the goals were going to come. It could have been very frustrating if they didn't, mate. But no, a very professional performance. What Howe's done with Jacob Murphy is just outstanding. I mean, the kid was almost unplayable at times. Trippier, if there's a better defender in the world, never mind in the UK at the moment, than him, I wish they would show him to me. He's when he's on the ball and when he receives the ball, his cushion passes would make most midfielders envious. He really is at top form at the moment, and you can go through the team and pick things like that. Fabian Shaw, is there a cooler centre back in the Premiership at the moment other than Botman? And we've got them both. And some of his long balls out of defence to the wings and elsewhere, absolutely spot on. So the other consoling thing, if it's a consoling thing, it's more a worrying thing, is that of that team, at least 5 of them could have played for our former manager and he virtually ignored them. I mean, what does that say about what we've suffered before and what we're enjoying now, thanks to Eddie Howe and his team? No, great. Bruno was on form. If you want to take a youngster and watch a footballer and learn something about real football, watch Bruno. He gets the ball when there's 2 or 3 people around them, 2 or 3 shakes of his hips, and the 2 or 3 people are gone. And he's on his own. And he's making a positive attack forward. And yesterday, at least 3 times, without thinking, he played a pass with his left foot, boys. His left foot. And didn't even have to think about it. No, cap it all, local lads, Dan Byrne, immaculate, Longstaff, ran his legs off, got a goal that he deserved, and I think he's going to get more because they're deliberately playing that ball that gets him into the penalty area. Him and Trippier and Murphy did yesterday a lot. No, it was, you could say, well, they should beat Palace. It's a workmanlike performance. It was better than a workmanlike performance. It was a professional performance. They did the job, and they did it to the best of their ability.
Yeah. Man of the match for you, George? Was it a hard one?
Yes, it was, because there were so many different parts of the field. But because of his attacking sense and because of how the trouble he caused Palace, I think Murphy just edged it for me, just because of his attacking threat. That was the difference. Otherwise, I'd have been looking at Bruno and even Shaw, and we're forgetting we're captain Lascelles. He didn't put a foot wrong. And this is a guy who 2 years ago people were writing off, and now he's back and he's running the team, and like you'd expect of a captain. Murphy just shades it for me because of his attacking threat, and he was always likely to cause them trouble. And I think if you looked how targeted the lad Mitchell at left back, I think that's because he didn't have any support. I don't think the lad's a poor player. I think he just didn't have the support. He was lost and just swamped. Nobody protected him, and I think they made hay with that. And Murphy was the catalyst. His attacking threat was just superb.
Yeah, I think the old adage of fail to prepare to fail for Palace at that position was definitely evident yesterday, and Newcastle certainly exploited that. Darren, thoughts on the game on Saturday? I mean, it was one of those, wasn't it? Which, last season we talked about it pre-match that Newcastle had played out 3 0-0 draws against Crystal Palace. We'd had to beat them on penalties in the Carabao Cup. Was it going to be the same? We highlighted on the show all week that they struggled a little bit to score goals. So I always felt, I think, that if Newcastle could get ahead, that Palace would struggle. But I didn't, in my wet dreams, expect a 4-0, and I just think this side is improved massively. When you look at the stats that were shown on Match of the Day last night. So far this season, goals 24, expected goals 19.89, shots on target inside the box 46, shot conversion rate 18.9%, big chances scored 20, big chance conversion rate over 50%, and we're first in all the Premier League rankings now, and that is some going. But that tells you why we won 4-0 yesterday, Darren.
Yeah, like I say, I met a lad called Paul Tweedy there, Steve, who watched the show.
Yeah, big shout out to Paul. Good lad.
Yeah, he's a nice lad. And he introduced himself, and I called it right. I had a pre-match talk with him. I said, if we can manage to get a goal in the first 10 minutes, we could possibly win 2-3 now. I'll be buzzing, but I didn't expect 4. But Palace were poor. Palace were poor going forward. They had nothing to offer. They made themselves look great, and they had nothing. they had nothing going forward. Palace, I'm sorry, that they didn't create. Had one or two little. They should have scored a header in the first half and made it 1-1. Should have scored. But Murphy had a great game. It was good to see 2 goals come from the right crosses, Steve, old-fashioned crosses. Do you know what I mean? Wilson's and Anthony Gordon's, it was good to see. Instead of Amaron would have cut on his left foot, would have been the other way. But Murphy's the right foot, so he got it in that way. Just total different. Nice to see that. My man of the match would have been Anthony Gordon. I thought, again, he's left up where he started from his last game. Works solid. He's worked. I'm really myself. I was over the moon with the victory. So keep going, roll on Dortmund, and more the same. Really, just give it a good go.
Yep, give it a good go indeed. Barry, great performance, great goals, and I mean, George mentioned Callum Wilson could have had a hat trick in the first half, but I mean, Anthony Gordon was again, he was prevalent. He got his goal, should have had at least 2. Murphy, outstanding performance from Murphy, and Trippier just seems to be getting better and better each game. I mean, if that's possible.
It just, I think for one of the first games in a while, they were excellent right across the board, Steve. There wasn't anybody who looked poor, like George said. I mean, Murphy for me, and I'm probably going to upset a few people, I think Murphy should be ahead of Miggy when he gets picked anyway. I think Murphy offers a lot more. He's a lot more direct. I know, obviously, he's crossed right across the goal. It was made out that it was an intentional cross that was knocked in at the far post, and you're thinking, was it not? He certainly flipped it, and I would have been gutted for him if his goal had been classed as offside. I was sitting thinking, please don't take it to VAR and take it off him, because he looked class. Longstaff had an excellent game, and you look at their team, and I know Darren says they didn't offer a lot going forward, but I mean, they've got an English centre half, international centre half, and you've got Anderson playing alongside him, who was the guy that I was hoping would come in the in the summer, and they looked completely ordinary. Wilson tore them apart. He was all over the shop with them. I was glad for Wilson that he got his goal, because he definitely deserved it. It was just an absolute mint performance right the way across the team. I think we couldn't have asked for any more. I do agree with Darren that I thought Gordon had a really top-notch game, but for me, Murphy was just absolutely outstanding. And it was watching the pace that we were playing at. It was such a high-paced game. We seemed to just sweep them away. Whenever we got on the front foot and came forward, they just couldn't cope with us. And I think that's the thing that we've said before, that Howe's now got that energy in the team. And when we're on top form, and obviously Bruno's in the middle knocking it backwards and forwards, we can just blow anybody away. It doesn't seem to matter who it is at the minute. And I think it obviously, like Darren says, it bodes well for the Dortmund game.
Yeah, it certainly does. Spenny, Newcastle have added goals to the game. I mean, we were loaded last season by having a wonderful back four, but this is becoming a regular occurrence, especially at St James's Park now, turning teams over and scoring goals. What did you make of yesterday?
It was unbelievable. When it was nearly a Spenny special 5-0 as well.
You predicted 5-0. You predicted 5-0.
5-0.
You kept looking at us too, Steve, but it was 4. You looked at us because of look.
Going back to Trippier, yes, he's getting better and better. I think it's the Tino thing, maybe because he played well that game in the cup. He's maybe spurring them on as well. Murphy was excellent, tremendous. It's about the best game I've seen him play in the black and white stripes for me. I liked how Shearer looked at a match today about the right-hand side, how it's linking up very well. Yeah. Longstaff and Trippier and Murphy. It looks really good, what they're doing there. I tell you what, we've been watching these Premiership games for a long time now with Newcastle in it, and everyone said there's a gap between the top 4 and the rest of the league, and we showed that gap to yesterday, and we up there. For me, definitely, we've got that grade now to go push forward. End of the year, everybody's tipping Man City to win the league. They've lost one less game than us. So there you go. You know what I mean? And I can't see us beaten at home all season now. Unfortunately, Liverpool beat us. But I could say it's not getting beaten at home all season the way we play. And there was 8 English players playing for Newcastle yesterday. I think that's you don't see many games like that. Not many English players playing.
Okay, great stuff. Chippers, your thoughts on the game?
It was pretty comfortable, wasn't it? You get the early goal, and after that, they've got to come out and actually attack. So I don't think that was their intent at all. And just a case of how many at the end. Just the difference, man, for last season. I mean, you've got like these games where we couldn't break teams down. Now you've got Anthony Gordon who can break them down, and it's just. I mean, we had 2 goals and 2 assists from wingers yesterday, which is something that we've been crying out for a long time, and a striker scoring. And when you look at our bench, we bring a £60 million striker on, we bring a £50 million midfielder on, we bring a £20 million midfielder on, we bring a £20 million Livramento on. It's just options. We've got options now, and it's just. I mean, you think we still didn't have Botman playing. Joe Linton looked a bit rusty at times. I thought Wilson still looked a bit rusty. Willock didn't play. So again, it's it's just. All omens are good, and we're only 5 points off top spot. Would you believe it? It's nothing. It really is nothing. And the only thing I fear at the minute is Bruno getting his 5th yellow card by his 1 game ban. And if he gets to the Wolves on Saturday, he'll miss the Arsenal game, which could be a massive, massive blow. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't fear anybody. Well,
We'll not get
no,
back
no,
to
I
League
think
Cup.
no, I think it'll just carry on without the league. I think because if you remember when it happened last season, the player played in the League Cup, but he missed the league game, I think. So,
Oh,
but that's the only thing at the minute is him getting his 5th yellow, and hopefully we'll get the Tonali saga over with. We'll find out his punishment and we can draw a line under it. So, but I'm glad we thumped them because they put their stupid little display on at the beginning about the takeover, and I'm still thinking, mate, it's 2 years ago. Move on, jog on. You know, these are just jealous. Salty,
It's worse than
get on with it.
It's worse than that, Chippers. Next time you see their ground, watch the notice boards that go around the ground. There's 3 adverts on there that are paid by Saudi money.
Crazy.
I'll tell you what, we were glad, as they say, we were glad all over yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah.
Definitely were. Okay, before we get back on to Newcastle United related stuff, George, I just wanted to talk about this man. Not a player that played for Newcastle, of course, but somebody who, did so well at Manchester United and ultimately, won the World Cup with the lads in '66. But the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton from Ashington, of course, from up these parts, was rightly, mourned yesterday and will continue to be so until the funeral. But just a few thoughts on Sir Bobby Charlton. What kind of player he was, George?
If there's such a thing, the complete player. You could have played Bobby Charlton almost anywhere and he would have done well. He had pace, he had strength. He could shoot with either foot. Not a one-footed player. Just an all-round professional, but an exceedingly good professional. Top of his game and stayed at the top of his game through hard work. A lot of people think he called it a day too soon. I would argue with that and say that he called it a day when he thought he'd done enough and couldn't do much more. And I think that's the right thing for any player. No, Bobby Charlton was just at a different class during his period as a player. And England got the benefit of that, and certainly Manchester United did. As to the not Newcastle bit of it, my inside information is that it was Sissy's mother who was against the lads coming to Newcastle United because they didn't think they would get a chance there, and so they went to Manchester United. He went to Manchester United. Jackie went to Leeds. There's a younger son, Eddie, I think he's called, who also went to Leeds. I knew him reasonably well. In fact, I've got a scar behind me left ear that he made with standing on my head when we were playing against each other. Bobby Charlton, a gentleman, always never talked down to people. Had the pleasure of meeting him several times. I played in a schoolboy game against Manchester Boys when Nobby Stiles was in the Manchester Boys team, and he came into the dressing room and he was superb, just superb with the lads. That's all you can say. No, a sad loss to football because an example to young people and to young players to how to behave on and off the field. Yeah.
We send our condolences from NUFC Matters to the Charlton family, and you're up there now with Jackie, looking back on a wonderful career and a wonderful, wonderful life. Back to Newcastle United, and the Tonali reception yesterday, George, was for me something that I expected. I've got to be perfectly honest, because the one thing that Newcastle United fans do is back the players, and they give the love and support. And Eddie Howe on Friday, he asked for us to throw our arms around him, and Newcastle fans duly did that. They supported a player in the time of need, and whatever his punishment, whatever he has to serve, I think Tonali can go, into that period and knowing at least that he's got a club who cares about him.
And he'd come back hopefully like a roaring lion after that, because he got the biggest share of the day. In a 4-0 victory, and he got the biggest share of the day. I thought it was wonderful. Then when they went round at the end of the game, the players, particularly at the Gallagher end, stood back and let him go forward. And the Gallagher end just to give him the reception that a hero would get. So if he doesn't feel at home after that, he never will. And so are the other players. And it was nice to see people like Trippier and others putting their arms around him and giving him a hug when he was upset, because he really was upset, you could see. No, Tyneside did itself proud yesterday and showed anybody that was watching that match that with support as well as condemn. It's easy to condemn when people are in trouble like that, but with support and help, and I think that will bring us an even better player than we've got now, because he's a hell of a player now, but I think he'll come back an even better player and a one that wants to die for the Geordie nation, which is just what we want.
Darren, it was a hell of a reception for him, very emotional.
Yeah, like George said, when they come towards the Gallagher and asked in, the crowd was singing to Tonali, and he said his face, he was very emotional. And I think he was shocked, or not shocked, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? I appreciate, you know what I mean, Steve? The crowd, show them, like, they're supporting him. So just whatever the outcome is, he'll get his fair punishment, and he's got to serve it. You know what I mean? It's the outcome. You know, like say, I hope he gets help with the line. Like say, the right people in the right places will help him, and he's got his friends and family support him. So it's got to move forward.
Yeah, Barry, I mean, it's been a bit of a shock to the system, I think, for him, but also a shock for the club as well. You know, the club will have, not seen this coming when they spent, over £50 million on him in the summer. And I guess from their perspective, they really have to, they've stood up when they've needed to for the players. You know, we've seen it with the incident with Jamal Lascelles. We saw it with the incident with, with other people over the last couple of years. So to see them stand by Tonali isn't a surprise, but I think it just shows that as a club we are united, Barry.
I think that's it. I mean, you watch obviously like you, I watched the Eddie Howe interview with the press, and he was obviously getting bombarded with Tonali related questions, and all you could see from Howe was this sense of support for the player. He didn't want to go into too much depth, but clearly the club were behind him, and obviously the match shows that the players are all behind him. And I think that is testament to the sort of mold that Eddie's built into the team. The team in general has got that support for each other. We've finally got a team of players who are there for one another. There's no like separate little factions in the team that there was under Bruce, where he had his little favourites here, there, and everywhere. It comes across that the teams, it plays as one. It goes forward as one. I think it's a massive shame. I do agree with what he's saying, that if it is something that's been on his mind and possibly affected some of his sort of very recent performances, that obviously he's been getting stressed about it, that God, if he's only been functioning on sort of 70% previously, Christ knows what sort of a player will come back after his ban. He'll hit the ground running and hit everything else the back of the net a few times, because he does look a class player. I think it's just a shame that it's happened, but it's life, isn't it, Steve? We talked about it the other day and said if these things happen in life, we've just got to learn, move on and get on from it. But yeah, I don't expect anything else from the club these days, and certainly not from an Eddie Howe team. I think that's something he installs in all of them.
Yeah, evening, Ian. Just a quick assessment first of all on the game yesterday from you, Ian.
Yeah, class. Played really well. I thought it was one of them. We're at the start, as Mitch always says, the Stockholm syndrome. I'm thinking, flipping heck, are we ever going to score here? Because we were so dominant. But yeah, we never gave them a chance. Really, great game, good performance. I was absolutely buzzing with the reaction to Sandro. I just felt that if he didn't know before, he knows now that he's come to a quality club, with great support, it could be. I know it's going to be a tough year for him, and it's a bit rubbish for us for a year to lose him, but it could be the making of him at Newcastle, long term. So just get behind him. I reckon that's the only thing we can do now, and hopefully he doesn't get too much of a stinker of a ban. But yeah, the game amazing. Yeah, I thought we played really well. Could have been 6 or 7, to be honest.
Okay, good stuff. Spenny, your thoughts on the Tonali reception after the, after the game?
Just shows how good our fans are, giving them that reception you got. End of the day, you forget they're only 20-odd-year-old, these players who's playing, and they're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. As simple as that. You cannot have a go at anybody because you know yourself you've made them mistakes as well. But I love the reception he got and the singing and that. I really enjoyed it. At the end, I stopped near the end as well and watched it all. And you could tell he had a little bit of a tear in his eye as well.
Yeah,
And I liked how Trippier got hold of him and gave him a cuddle as well, because he's been there as well himself.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Chip, as the response of the crowd, I mean, it was expected, but it was still very emotional.
Yeah, it's great. It just shows that everyone's behind him and everyone's in the same direction. Whether people agree with what he's done or not, it's irrelevant. Everyone wants him to get through this tough time. And you know that this year, if he gets a year ban, it might help him settle into the region, maybe learn the language, adapt to everything. And by the time he comes back, it might be a whole new, completely different player. The good thing is he's 20-year-old, so it's not like as if he's at the end of his career. It's just the start of it. So he gets out of his system now. He doesn't do it again. It's just, if obviously Milan, I don't think Milan would have had the same sort of impact. I think they would have more likely booed him if he was over there rather than help them. And it shows that, he probably went home last night thinking, you know what, if I had doubts about anything, there's no doubt now that everyone's behind us. And he looked emotional. I don't blame him with him for still being a kid. It's quite a lot for him to take in at that age. So, but yeah, like I just said before, I just wish we would get this sorted now. I just wish we would get his sentence so that we can move on, draw a line from it, and just move forward, basically.
Yeah, that's what we've got to do. And as we're pre-recording this on Sunday, there is something that's just cropped up on NUFC.com, the unofficial Newcastle site, but the one that certainly over the days of Mike actually got more things right than the club website. Reports in Italy state that the federal prosecutor Giuseppe Shin, or whatever his name is, will meet with lawyers acting for Sandro Tonali on Monday, which of course will be today when the show goes out, for what amounts to plea bargaining. An announcement confirming the player's punishment for involvement in illegal sporting betting will then follow, with the expectation that it will come before Newcastle's Champions League game on Wednesday. A blanket ban on him playing football for at least the remainder of the current season appears inevitable amid fears that a lengthier sanction could follow. So that was on NUFC.com on Sunday afternoon. So we will wait and see, guys, what happens with that. We are halfway through the show, though, at the moment. And you know what that means? It is time.
Oh, boy.
A big thanks to all our sponsors. Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3. Email inquiries at skipsandbins.com. Website skipsandbins.com. Easy contract free and pay as you go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find out more about them from their website, mrvickies.co.uk, or by calling 01768 210 102. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the video side of things. And thanks to United Group Travel, UK coach holiday firm based in Morpeth. There's no strangers on their tours, just people you haven't met yet. They're now taking bookings for 2024. You can call 01670 632 460, 0791 666 4174, or 07957 141 654. Or go to the website unitedgrouptravel.com. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button underneath the video today. We still do 7 shows a week. Hit the thumb up under the video to like it. It does us a big favour. Click share to share to your other social media and let people know about NUFC Matters. We're also a podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to help the show financially, you can take out a £25 one-off membership. You get a scarf, a pen, a cup, and a membership card. How do you get it? Go to nufcmatters.com, look for membership. If you've got a smartphone, then put your smartphone over the QR code and it will take you straight to that section on the website. We also support the food bank on this channel. You can donate to the food bank today by going to nufcfansfoodbank.co.uk. We do support events on this channel as well. If you've got an event, please send it in and we'll promote it. The Tyne Theatre and Opera House are doing a Keegan, Beardsley and Waddle event, the Class of 84, 25th of January, 2024. Book now by calling 08 44 249 1000. And the Tyneside Irish Centre, they're doing an event with Frank Clark and John Gibson on Thursday, December the 7th. You can get tickets from nufcmatters.com and they are priced at £15. There's also some tickets available on Groupon. Don't forget, you can catch me 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, with Rye, Dave and Daz on the Northeast Footy Brekkie Show, 7 till 9, and you can catch us on the Red, the Toon and the Cat and on Toon Radio's website. WhatsApp us on the day 0330 043 2002, the perfect way to start your day.
Don't groan when the ads come on, Darren.
How's his belly rumbling? His tea's late.
Classic.
Oh,
Okay, Newcastle United are in action, Champions League action, this coming Wednesday. This will be the third game of our Champions League group stage campaign, and it'll see Borussia Dortmund debut at St James's Park. Unlike their Parisian counterparts, the visitors have taken their full 3,000 plus allocation of tickets. We've got a German invasion in the big market on Wednesday night. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. It's live on TNT Sports 2 for those of you who haven't got tickets. And elsewhere in our group, of course, PSG will host AC Milan that night. Early team news, where we know that Harvey Barnes will still be missing and Sven Botman is likely to miss out. Javier Manquillo, Emil Kraft, Matt Ritchie, Mark Gillespie, of course, were all omitted from Newcastle United's Champions League squad. As for Borussia Dortmund, they won 1-0 to go back to the top of the table at the weekend against Werder Bremen. But the sides below them do have a game in hand. And they did finish second in the Bundesliga behind Bayern Munich last season. That denied the title on goal difference. The win at the weekend, well, that extends their unbeaten domestic league record to 16 games since losing to Bayern Munich in April, and just that single reverse in 27 Bundesliga outings. So far in the Champions League, Dortmund have been beaten 2-0 against PSG in Paris and held to a 0-0 draw at home by AC Milan. Referee still to be confirmed at the time of this show being recorded, and the same with VAR. Okay, lads, this is a big game, and again, you're only as good as your last fixture. Well, Newcastle have just won 4-0. George, this is going to be a big game. It's our 14th Champions League home fixture. The previous 13 have brought 8 home wins and 5 defeats. We've not drawn a game at St James's Park in the Champions League. So, what's your thoughts going into this game, George? This one gets the taste buds and your appetite wet for the Champions League, doesn't it? We knew this was the group of death, but this is another great game. George, can you hear
it is, and what I like about it is after how we've performed. Yeah, can you not hear me?
There's a 10-second delay, George.
Hi.
Just go with it.
You lost us. All right, okay. It's who we've got to fear. I mean, what we've done already have shown that we're capable of performing in the Champions League, and this should be no different. And as we said the other night, it's a game at a time, and this is the next important game, and we'll do what we need to do, in my opinion. It'll be a good game because they play
Yeah, we'll take George out. We'll bring him back in when his internet sorted out. Unfortunately, we seem to have lost him. Darren, big game this, and like I said to George, for me, another exciting game. This is going to be just as good as PSG for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot harder on PSG. With Dortmund and the mugs, I think they know they've got a tough game down here. They'll not take us lightly because they know what our fans are like. They know how they'll do the homework on us. I don't think it'll be a hard game, but I think again, just go for it. Don't hold back. It's just enjoy the day. And I thought just enjoy it and go for play your heart out and get a result if I can. So they're a good team, Dortmund. They should have won the league last year at home, last game of the season, but they didn't. But this year, it'll be an interesting game at St James on Wednesday. It'll be a hard game, but hopefully we can win. Just go for it.
Yeah, we'll come for a prediction towards the end of the show. Chippers, this one, I've got a feeling this is going to be like, I've got a feeling it's going to be like a Premier League game. This, you know, I think this is going to be quite. I've got a feeling it'll be a tight game. I said that about PSG, mind, and how wrong was I about that? But this has got more of a Premier League feel to it. I still think Newcastle's going to win it, but I just think this is going to be a bit. I think the Germans are going to come with a slightly different game plan to PSG.
I'm gonna throw a curveball in. I'm not worried about them at all. I'm not being big head or nothing. I'm not worried about them at all. I think we'll beat them. I just think we turn up to our A game, they'll be more worried about us than we will be about them. We're on it from that first whistle. They'll not stop us. There's plenty of teams in the Premier League who can't stop us, so I can't see the same. I can't see it happening. The only thing I can see them doing is if we give away niggly free kicks and stuff like that, and they try and take the sting out of the game, which we all know foreign teams that, you know, their history with play acting and stuff like that, they're quite possibly capable of doing it. It's the only way they're going to stop with. Palace did it on Saturday. They tried to, you know, when they couldn't match with, they tried to start being a bit physical, and that's the only way I can see them upsetting with if players get track to do it rather than staying away from the danger. I just think we'll win. I mean, we've got the momentum, we've got everything going in our favour at the minute, so let's keep riding that crest of a wave, as they say, and just get. We win on Wednesday. I would pretty much say we're basically got 1 foot in the next round with 3 games to play. So for me, I think they'll be more worried about us than we will be about them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's a game that I'm concerned about. I just think it'll be a different style of game. I think they will come with their tails up, you know, the top of the league at the moment. But Newcastle will certainly have their tails up as well. And at the moment, it just seems that no matter who Newcastle United put in the squad and in whatever position they play them in, people are coming in and they know the job that they've got to do, and they do it well. I mean, Jacob Murphy, you know, it's hard to believe that was his first Premier League start of the season, and he came in and you know was some people's man of the match yesterday. Jamal Lascelles comes in a key week where people are saying, oh wow, we're going to get knocked out the Carabao Cup, we're going to get whopped off PSG, and we're probably going to lose that Premier League game as well. And he comes in and, you know, he's outstanding. So, you know, players are coming in and like, you know, some of you have already said on this channel tonight, people are coming in, they know the jobs, but it tends to be some of the players who played under Steve Bruce who are rising to the occasion. It's incredible. Ian, I mean, this is a great game. I mean, the away game will be fantastic as well, but this home game again will be special. And War Flags, unfortunately, a little bit of a damp squib for them yesterday. They got drenched trying to put the flags out for the game against Crystal Palace. But there certainly will be a big flag display against for Dortmund, and the yellow wall will get a bit of competition from a black and white wall on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I've actually got a ticket as well, which is amazing.
Fantastic, great news.
Yeah. And I've got a ticket. Me and Tommy are going to Wolves away as well, which I think I've already mentioned to you, Steve. And I've got Arsenal tickets through the ballot, so I'm like, I've got tickets coming out of my wallet on my phone at the moment. So I'm buzzing. Yeah, I think War Flags are going to play a big part. I think the fans are going to play a big part as well. And I'm with Chippers. I said all along, I think we win all 3 of the home games. Going back to your comment as well about the German invasion, Steve, I could just, as you said that, I could just hear my dad saying, I hope they don't bomb the big market chippy, but I didn't know whether I could say that or not anymore. So
I think you probably can, because it's a historical quote.
Historical, yeah. They don't like it up and all that. So yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think we will, like I say, a lot of the times we'll outpress them, we'll outwork them, outfight them, and they probably will kick us a bit. Which is, you know, obviously against Palace, they were very. I thought they were dirty me. Like certainly the first half, they were trying to kick lumps out of everyone. So I just think same old. Everyone knows the positions. You know, going on to Murph. He was absolutely outstanding. That's the best game I've seen Murphy have for us. Like he was everywhere, and he was, you know, his touch he's a different player. I remember I used to groan when I used to see him on the, coming off the bench, and it just proves again, we say it time and time again, proper coaching, confidence, organisation, the players, like the old players that, that failed in the past and now really come into fruition. And whatever team we put out, they all know the jobs. And they're willing to, run themselves into the ground for us. So yeah, no, I think we'll win against Dortmund. I don't think it'll be an easy game, like you say, but I think we'll have the number.
Yeah. Okay, Barry, big game, and if we win, let's say if we win and we get another 3 points, we've got foot in the next stages.
It would have said 7 points from 3 Champions League games before we started it all. You wouldn't have dreamed of it, especially not to humiliate PSG the way we did at home. I mean, you look at the Dortmund team. They're a decent side. There's no big names. I mean, they've got Emre Can, who used to play for Liverpool. They've got Menuet, the Belgian midfielder. They've got decent players, but there's no huge stars in there. I think you're probably 100%, Steve. I think it's going to be like a tough Premier League game. But I think if we can do what we did against Palace, if we can outpace them, and with the support we'll get at home, I don't think we should have any problems with them. I really don't. I think no matter who we seem to play at the minute, team-wise, I think they're all playing out their skin. And I think you've now got that competition that, like you guys said before there about Trippier having Livramento sort of sniffing behind him, trying to get in his place. The players are going to be that bit more on edge because they know there's somebody who can come in who can replace them. I mean, Longstaff has looked absolutely outstanding, but how much has he had to work to get back in the team and get those games under his belt? I know he's been a bit lucky with some of the suspensions and stuff, but he's coming in and he looks absolutely class. I just think it's another chance to move on. Like you say, we have to play them twice, don't we? We have to play them home and away the next Champions League games over there. So if we can get 7 points from 3 games, you wouldn't dream of that. You would think we're guaranteed second spot, and why not push on to get the top place? If we can get 3 points against Milan at home as well, that should be us well and truly qualified.
Yeah. Okay, Spenny, huge game this again, one which we which we'll enjoy. Win, lose, or draw, but I've just got a feeling we're gonna get another win here.
I think it'll be the hardest game we've had this season against them because they're well organised. All German teams are, to be honest. But hopefully the Premier League quality comes through and we do beat them. But they are a well organised team. As Barry's just said, they haven't got any big players, but they are a very good organised team, well organised, through balls in the middle, attacking, very high press. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow and on Wednesday night is meeting them German fans outside the big market. And there'll be a party atmosphere, totally different to PSG. They'll probably come over and shake your hands and all that and have a beer with them. That's what it's about. Because I think they'll be the same over there as well. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And 3 points, obviously.
Yeah, 3 points as well. Interesting to see yesterday, George. We've got you back now. Are you back with us, George?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, so yeah, we've built it up now. We've talked about the game. The squad rotation is going to be interesting, isn't it? Wilson playing yesterday. Isak coming on as a sub. One would imagine there'll be changes to that team. It'll be interesting to see what he does. What are you expecting him to change on Wednesday?
Well, not a lot, I don't think, in terms of the total number of players in the squad. He might change out positional ones. I'm wondering if Botman might sneak in. I don't know. I don't know where he is in terms of his fitness, but there was some rumour he might sneak in yesterday. Well, maybe he's sneak in on Wednesday. Not that we need to panic about that. Isak looked up for it, even though he didn't play the whole game. Wilson, I thought, was really good. I mean, somebody said he made the 2 centre backs of Palace look very, very ordinary. And for Longstaff's goal, he sat one of them on his backside, the England international, just through being there. So, I don't think there's going to be many changes in the personnel. Maybe positional changes. I think we'll see a different Joe Linton. I thought he coasted yesterday. He'll not be coasting on Wednesday. So I expect a similar personnel, maybe some positional changes, but more of the same against Palace. And I can't see us losing it, to be honest.
Okay, changes, Darren. What are you expecting from that game? I mean, there's a few people in that squad, but everyone just seems to be able to come in and do the job. Would you think Isak will start up front? Are you thinking Botman might be available? He's certainly been training.
It's a hard one. If I'm going to decide, God help Eddie Howe, he's going to make the decision. If Botman's fit, do you put him in? Yes, for me. I think Dortmund's going to be, like Spenny said, I think Dortmund's going to be a hard game. They're organised. But you don't know. You might play Isak. I thought he would have left him off the pitch yesterday. We bring him on. Just give Wilson the full game. But it'll be interesting. The team news on Wednesday. There might be possibly 2 changes, I would say, the most on Wednesday.
Okay, Chippers.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Personally, I think Botman, if he's fit, would come in for Lascelles. I think Aaron would probably start, and I think Isak would probably start. But we really don't know Eddie Howe. I said the other night, if you second guess Eddie Howe, then you may as well put the lottery numbers on, because you just can't. You don't know, because he said Isak hasn't trained all week, and he still played nearly just over 20 minutes yesterday. So, judging from what I've seen on Botman's social media, what people have sent us, that he's been training for the past fortnight. So I don't know why he didn't play him. You don't know. It's so cryptic, and you can't read into anything. You just got to think, well, even when Eddie speaks on Tuesday regarding it, you still don't know. He could still say, well, Isak hasn't trained the last 2 days. Botman hasn't trained the last 2 days, and you could see them starting. You really don't know. Personally, like I said, if they're fit, then I think Botman will have to start against Dortmund, because it's a step up from Crystal Palace. Isak, I think, was being saved for Wednesday night specifically, so I think he'll come in for Wilson, because I don't think 2 games in 4 days would probably be up for Wilson. And I think Miggy will probably end up coming back in eventually as well, because although Murphy was outstanding yesterday, I think he would want to keep players fresh, and with the Wolves on the Saturday night, he'd probably say Murphy for Wolves away will probably be more of a suitable game for him.
Okay, what changes are you expecting in on Wednesday?
Same as Chippers, I think. What he said then, I think Miggy will come in. I think Isak will come in, and if Botman's fit, I think he'll come in. And I'm sure, might be wrong here, but I'm sure Eddie had mentioned that Botman he didn't think going to be fit to play, which to me means Botman will probably play, because we all know that Eddie he constantly lies about players not being fit and being fit. So anything he says, I think the opposite, to be honest, usually, which we let him get away with, because it's just good cracking it, good tactics. So yeah, there'll be the 3 that I expect, but again, who knows? He always springs a surprise on us, doesn't he? And it generally 9 times out of 10 it works really well. So we'll see. Looking forward to seeing the team sheet an hour before.
Yep, we'll love an Eddie Howe surprise. Barry, any changes you think he'll make, or any you would make?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because Eddie seems to be developing this mentality where he's got his Premier League lineup, and he's got his Champions League lineup, or he's got his Cup team lineup, and he seems to he's fully developing the rotation system that we've never had before, because we've never got that quality of players. As Spenny said before about Dortmund, I think they are very physical. They're very sort of well organised. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lascelles doesn't stay in the team and not risk Botman until the next game, because I think him and Shaw would possibly be able to deal better with the way they play. I think Anderson will be on the verge of getting back in the team. I do agree. I think Miggy will walk into the team. Isak, I don't know. I'd be tempted to go with Wilson starting, and he's coming off the bench again. But it's exactly what you said. Eddie Howe just seems to, like, when he's doing his press conference, he picks a name out of a hat and says, "This guy's not fit. This guy is fit." And then when it comes to the team, you've got to listen to him very carefully. And he says, "I've been watching these in training all week," and then you think, right, hang on a minute, whatever he's going to say next is going to decide whether he's fit or not. But like you say, Steve, I think whoever he picks, the way the lads are playing at the minute, I think go for it. The fans will be behind him. It'll be a great atmosphere with the German fans. I totally agree with that side of it. And yeah, he's getting very, very difficult to sort of follow what he's got in mind, because I think he doesn't give anything away. In
Eddie, we trust. One person who often throws a curveball in, Spenny. So and this is I don't deliberately put Spenny last. It's just Spenny ends up down there when he comes on the screen. Spenny, don't tell us you're going to play Martin Dubravka in goal.
I think it'll be the same team as the Palace today, to be honest. I think it'll play the same team as the Palace. And Botman's out for another 2 weeks, according to Craig Hope. So,
is he? Right, okay.
Yes. Right, so I don't think he'll be coming back. If he was fit, he would have been on the bench, I think. I'm not
as concerned about Jamal Lascelles now as I was, and
I know.
You've got to pay respect to Mitch and Penman, who essentially have come out in support of Lascelles. You've got to. They've come out. They came out and supported Lascelles when everybody else was saying I wouldn't have Lascelles anywhere near the team, and we all need another centre half. But they were right. Lascelles has come in and he's done a job.
Well, Lascelles, yes, he has. Yes, he has surprised us. But there's times I'm going to say it. His man marking's not as good as the other ones.
Yeah,
he doesn't pick up men very good.
That's the only mistake in him. That's the thing.
Yes, that's the only thing I don't like about him. He's telling everybody else where get him, and he's not getting anybody. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
You can't
change.
Thing
I don't like about Lascelles.
You can't change everything, and I tell you what, they've done a hell of a Eddie Howe and Lascelles, because it's got to be in the player to do it. He's done a hell of a job in turning himself around. I mean, it's not quite a Joe Linton level, but it's not far away when you think about him. You know, marking Mbappe. I mean, you know, never in a million years would you have thought that was possible. But
like you said about Bruce, you look at their players now. Longstaff, look at him now compared to when he was playing for Bruce. You look at Joe Linton. You look at Murphy, you look at Shaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Longstaff, yeah. Amazing.
And Lascelles stopped the Manchester City centre forward scoring twice in 2 games.
Exactly.
And on yesterday, did anyone else pick up on that worldie of a pass that Lascelles played, like crossfield, whatever? Yeah.
It was like that worldie goal that Murphy did. That was a pass.
It was like watching Mark Stimpson in his prime. It really was.
Oh, no.
Prediction, and George, for Dortmund as we finish the show. Prediction.
2-0 Newcastle.
2-0 Newcastle. I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. Darren?
2-1.
2-1. Sam? Chippers?
I'm going for a Penman, 3-1.
3-1. Ian?
I'm just going 3-1 every game of this season, because every time I say 3-1, it's never right, but we always win. So I'm going 3-1.
3-1. Barry?
2-0.
2-0. And Spenny?
4-3.
4-3. Oh, no. There's the curveball. There's the curveball.
We have no Neils left.
We'll be waiting for the curveball. There it is.
Fantastic.
You're not sitting by his head, are you?
Okay, guys, fantastic, great stuff. Thanks for the show. Great to have George, Darren, Chippers, Ian, Barry, and Spenny on. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.
Cheers, lads.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.